Who's actually going to love this Bose home theater system? Who could walk away disappointed? And does the price make sense for a regular family movie night? Those are the three questions I keep hearing when people hover over a soundbar display, and it's exactly why I wanted to break this down before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the hesitation is real. You've probably watched a couple of YouTube unboxings that show a sleek black bar, a couple of tiny satellite speakers, and a sub that looks like it could double as a coffee table. It all sounds impressive, but the real test is whether that package can actually make dialogue in a thriller crystal clear, keep the bass punchy without turning your living room into a shaking box, and still be simple enough for a weekend warrior who doesn't want to spend 3 evenings tweaking settings. That's the sweet spot this review is targeting. Everyday buyers who want a noticeable upgrade from TV speakers, but aren't looking to become full-blown home theater engineers. Let's start with the kind of room this system is built for. Bose markets the ATTUNE to any room feature, which basically means the speakers use built-in microphones to measure your space and adjust the sound profile automatically. In practice, I tried it in a 12-foot by 15-foot living room with a fairly high ceiling and a fairly large sectional sofa. The system took about a minute to calibrate, and the result was a balanced soundstage where the voices on a drama series stayed anchored to the center of the screen, while the side speakers gave a subtle sense of width without feeling like you were surrounded by a wall of sound. If you're living in a studio apartment or a bedroom under 200 square feet, the system will still work, but you'll notice the rear speakers blend into the ambient room noise more quickly, and the sub can feel a little too boomy. So if you have a compact space, you might be better off with a single soundbar and a wireless sub rather than the full 4-piece set. Dialogue clarity is where the Bose Lifestyle Ultra soundbar shines. The TrueSpatial processing creates a distinct separation between the main audio track and background effects, which means you can actually hear the whisper in the silence of the lambs without cranking the volume. In a test with a popular streaming series, the voices stayed intelligible even when the background score swelled. That's a practical win for anyone who watches a lot of dialogue-heavy content news, sitcoms, or foreign films with subtitles because you won't be constantly reaching for the remote to boost the dialogue level. Bass performance is another point of contention for many buyers, and Bose's CLEANBASS technology tries to address the classic trade-off between deep low-end and muddiness. The subwoofer in this set is a separate, wireless unit that can be placed almost anywhere. In my living room test, placing it near a corner amplified the punch of a bass-heavy action scene without the rumble that can shake picture frames. However, that same sub will dominate a smaller room, making footsteps feel like a low-frequency earthquake. If you're a fan of heavy metal or love that thump you feel in your chest, you'll appreciate the control the sub offers. If you just want a little extra oomph for movies, you might find it overkill. Streaming and TV connectivity are usually where soundbars trip up for the average user, but Bose keeps it straightforward. The system supports AirPlay 2 and Google Cast, so you can send music from an iPhone, iPad, or Android device with a single tap. For TV hookup, the soundbar offers an HDMI ARC port, which means you can control the volume with your TV remote, and the TV can pass through any Dolby Atmos track directly to the speakers. I didn't run into any latency issues when watching a live sports broadcast. The audio stayed perfectly synced with the picture, which is a big deal for anyone who's ever seen a lip-sync error on a cheap soundbar. The remote itself is minimalist: 4 buttons for power, volume, source, and a mic for voice control. It works well enough, but power users who like to toggle EQ presets on the fly might miss a dedicated button for that. Voice control is baked in via Alexa Plus, which is essentially the same as a standard Alexa speaker, but with the added benefit of being able to control the whole home theater package with a single command. I was able to say, "Alexa, set movie mode," and the speakers automatically switched to the Dolby Atmos profile, while the sub increased its output by a few decibels. It's a neat trick for hand-free operation, especially when you're already juggling popcorn and a remote. That said, the microphone is positioned on the front of the soundbar, so if the TV is mounted very low or if you have a large cabinet in front of it, you may need to speak a little louder or move the bar forward. Now let's talk about the practical strengths that matter after the box is opened. First, the ease of setup.